What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pat and Dan Show. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Hensey, joined by the man, as usual, Dan Rourke. How we doing tonight, Dan?
I could not be better, Pat.
Vibes are
How are
high.
you?
Vibes are high. Bro, we're coming off one of the best wins of the season. You know that. And
The
we say
best, in
that all
my
the time.
opinion.
I'm not going to say the best because I think we had a couple better, but bro, this is definitely up there. But listen, we're now on episode 13, Dan. We're climbing up. Once we get to 100, I say we have a little party. But
we are getting there, bro. Like, it's cool. Like, I
We're
remember
getting
being on
there.
the phone
No.
with you, bro. I was in the McDonald's parking lot. We're like, yo, like, we're pretty good at this. Let's start a show. And here we are, episode 13. So we've come a long way, bro.
Unlike lights out. But shout out to everybody currently in the chat. Let's take attendance / roll call. You guys know the deal. Who do we got here? There's so many W's. Shout out to CCR. We got Amy, Evan, Pop Collecting. We got Austin, Evan, Corey, Hector, Greg Bird's in the chat. Shout out to Greg Bird. CCR, we got Hector. We got Jalen. Who else? We got Keisha, Mark, Teddy. Appreciate you all for stopping by. I'm sorry I can't name everybody. We'll be here for just about 5 hours. But Dan,
But yo,
I guess
wait, can I just make a quick comment? Because Greg
go
Bird's
for
in the
it.
chat. You know, he's having a pretty solid season in the minor leagues.
Awesome season. No, he's
Can I give you his stats in the minors? I have them
yeah,
right here.
no, go for it.
Just because, I have him. 71 games played. He's hitting 272. Has 17 homers, 373 on base, slugging 537. That's a 909 OPS. Why haven't the Rockies called him up yet, bro? I've been wanting that.
I have no idea. All I do know is that the Yankees are cruising, Dan. Listen, I know a lot of people call me crazy when I'm like, Yankees are winning the 2021 AL East. I still have my post-it note right here from July 31st. I'm sticking with it, bro. No pun intended. I'm just saying. But we're coming. Get it? Stick it. Post it.
Oh.
Yeah. No,
yeah. I thought it was like a spider tack joke. I was like, where does that come into play? But
no.
Yeah.
But listen, Yankees won tonight by a final score of, what was it, like 5-3 at the end of the day? I just want to take a second to acknowledge the fact that Joey Gallo is an absolute stud. Bro, that 3-run home run barely got out by the tip of his finger, bro. All I can sit here and say is that Brian Cashman, listen, we there's a lot of things to knock him for, sure. But I think one thing that we can definitely give him credit for is, just like the title of today's episode says, making the Yankees fun again. And obviously, like, it kind of beat them up a little bit by sending down Greg Allen. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I think the acquisitions of Anthony Rizzo and Joey Gallo at the deadline are kind of just proving their worth to the Yankees, because as of right now, if we didn't acquire these two guys, I have no idea where this team would be.
Bro, like, literally, because if you just go by, Rizzo and Gallo, I said it, bro. I think, like, that series in Miami, like, I think you could argue that we don't win. Like, there's a chance, obviously, we don't sweep without Rizzo in the Miami series. Like, if you break it down, I think there's a chance that we don't win any of those games without Rizzo. And then tonight with Joey Gallo. And, bro, it is crazy that, like, tonight, that go-ahead home run, his biggest hit of the night, was, like, his weakest hit of the night, because he had that 2 doubles before, too. So, like, from a confidence standpoint, like, he's got to be feeling really good. So, like, going forward, bro, like, what are we going to see from Gallo on a consistent basis now?
No, I know. And I think that's the key. I think he just needed like one little spark to get him hot. Bro, the fact, I saw a stat on Twitter today. I think he has just about the same amount of doubles like in his first few games as a Yankee as he almost had like in the entirety of the season with the Texas Rangers. So, I mean, listen, I know a lot of people were knocking Gallo, especially like, bro, he didn't hit a first home run in his first 4 games. Oh no, like the world's collapsing. Bro, it's the same people who like knocked Giancarlo Stanton for striking out even when he's on a ridiculous hot streak. But now after tonight's win, the Yankees are now 5.5 games out of first place. It's ridiculous to say that. And as far as the wild card goes, they're only a game and a half back now. So, Dan, I'm looking at this playoff picture, and I don't think that it's delusional anymore to say that the Yankees have a real shot at the division, especially considering the fact that they do have, like, I think they don't have that many games left this season against the Rays, but they have a few left against the Red Sox. If the Red Sox, I don't know if they fall out of collapse mode anymore, but I think the Yankees could definitely find a way to climb up those division standings a bunch.
Bro, yeah. And, like, let me just say something about the Red Sox real quick. They're going to regret big time not doing more at the deadline.
I'm surprised
all they did was get Kyle Schwarber, which, is he hurt right now? Has he even played for them?
I think he's hurt. Yeah, no, I think he's hurt.
Yeah, so, like, they're going to regret not doing more. But, yeah, I mean, listen, the fact that the Rays, like, if we're going to talk division, the fact that the Rays are at the top right now, that does kind of make me think, like, yo, like, we legitimately have a shot. Because, one, once you're within 5 games, like, you're legitimately in the race. And 2, we've played well against the Rays as of late.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are forgetting that. Now, say Boston was in first, which they could be back in first in like 3 days, but like say they're in first, then it's like you still kind of have like that doubt in your head where it's like, okay, like the Red Sox clearly have the Yankees number this season. So you kind of like get nervous about that. But like, bro, if it's the Rays who we're going to be chasing in the AL East, like not only am I starting to think like, okay, the division is possible, but like I'm starting to be like, all right, I'm all in on the division. Because you remember what I said a couple weeks ago,
No,
and you
yeah.
agree with me on it, where it's like, or like a month ago, or whatever, where I was like, I'm done focusing on the division. I'm gonna let them surprise me and not disappoint me. Right now, at this point, like we don't, I don't want to say I'll be disappointed if we don't win the division, but like we're getting there. We're getting there, bro. Because it's what, August 5th right now. We have a lot of games left against the Rays, the Red Sox, and the AL East. We got to worry about the Blue Jays too because they're playing well. But
Yeah, and Dan,
things
honestly,
are
like I'm
looking
on.
really good. Things are looking
Yeah,
really good.
I'm on board with you. Like I've been on board as far as the division goes. Like at this point,
Yeah.
I'm looking at I've said this so many times at this point. I'm looking at the second wildcard spot as essentially a lock for the Yankees at this point. I know like we're a game and a half out, but I view that second wildcard spot as ours. I don't care what happens. But then that's why I'm kind of looking at the division now. That's what we have our sights on. And I think that's kind of the most important thing because I think now, bro, you're 5.5 games out. I think that that's heavily in reach. Because we're talking about what? At one point, I would say a month ago, weren't the Yankees like 5.5 out of the second wild card? So I think it just kind of goes to show like you could make up ground very quickly. And let's not forget, like it's not like we're in the second week of September here, Dan. It's only the beginning of August. We have about 2 full months left of regular season baseball. The Yankees could easily climb up. But I guess kind of as we're on the topic of today's game, you want to talk about the ending a little bit with the Aroldis Chapman? Now, listen, I thought Chapman was back coming into tonight's game. Maybe he kind of proved tonight that he's not.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things you can put into it. Because yeah, I thought Chapman was back, and I'm not saying he's not back, but like even when Chapman's on, he'll have a game like this. Like I feel like besides like April of 2021, normally when Chapman, if he's going through a dominant stretch, he'll have a game where he just looks wild and all over the place. And hey, he didn't give up a run today. He didn't blow the save. And
bro, I thought that ball was gone.
I knew it wasn't gone, but I thought it might be trouble in the
Once
gap.
I saw Gallo like chugging back,
I had a feeling it wasn't leaving the park. I feel like I knew it was staying in the park, but I thought it might be trouble. But that ground ball to Glaber, like that's some tough luck that Chapman had. That could end the game right there. But yeah, I mean, a couple things. Boone messed up big time, regardless of what the result of this game was. I know we won. I know we got out of it. Loizaga should have been in that game to face who was it, Haniger?
Yeah.
So that's number one. And two, with Chapman, like, man, like I hope he rebounds, which I still feel weird saying that way because he technically did get the save. But like if Chapman goes back to looking how he looked the past like 2 weeks, I'll still be feeling pretty okay. But tonight kind of reminded me that like, man, like this is the guy that we're trusting in the playoffs to advance us to another series or to avoid us being eliminated like he has been the last 2 years, you know? So like it does kind of, it's crawling back in my mind. Like even though Chapman's been good lately, like it still gets me a little bit nervous.
No, yeah, for sure. And I think that's like my biggest concern with the Yankees, like as far as they go right now, because like we said, like we're looking at the offense, especially with the acquisitions of Rizzo and Gallo. They look unstoppable, especially going up against a bad pitching staff like Seattle and Baltimore and Miami and all those teams.
Hey, Seattle's bullpen is pretty good though, from what I heard.
No, and I guess, but like, no, I get it, but like when I picture Paul Sewald, like I know his numbers might be good, but like I don't picture him as like facing like a Craig Kimbrell. You know what I mean? But maybe that's just like in the back of my mind. I don't know. Maybe because I'm talking like solidified names in the league, if that makes sense.
I got you.
Yeah. But and then I'm kind of looking at the rotation, and I'm pretty confident in the Yankees rotation once they're back to full strength. Once they get back, Cole and Monty and Herman, and then you have Severino and Kluber coming back from the IL as well. So I'm confident in the rotation, but the bullpen concerns me, and it's mainly because of two guys. And one is Zach Britton, a guy that we've seen underperform tremendously this year. It seems like I can't trust Zach Britton in that eighth inning anymore. He got out of it tonight by the skin of his teeth.
Tremendously is a stretch, I'd say, honestly.
No, I would say he struggled tremendously. I would say so. Do you trust Zach Britton late in games?
I'm starting to, because if you look back at Zach Britton's, like the leads he's given up or the runs that he's given up, like he's still given them like those runs up in Zach Britton fashion. Like he's had a lot of tough luck. Now he has walked too many guys, but he's getting the ground balls that Zach Britton gets, you know, and people be like, oh, Zach Britton would be so screwed this year if it weren't for the double plays. Well, reminder, that's what Zach Britton does. So like people say tonight as an example, like, oh, that double play saved him. Like that's typically how Zach Britton pitches, you know? So like I'm starting to kind of feel actually a little bit better about Zach Britton, believe it or not.
I listen, I get feeling better, but like he's still not that like Zach Britton even of last year, where like he's coming into a game in a postseason.
I'm pretty sure his velocity is down and stuff. So
no, bro, it's down significantly. I remember Zach Britton throwing like 96, 97. Now he's sitting at like 92, 93. So that's definitely concerning. And I guess that's kind of like why he's not really putting away too many guys. But also at the same time, like when I'm looking at that bullpen, I'm looking at Chapman, and I don't necessarily trust Chapman in a postseason game. Not even because of his like past postseason blunders, but just because of like based on what the inconsistency we've seen from him this season. So I think the biggest key here of the Yankees trying to make like a postseason run here is what starters that are currently in the rotation that could swap over the bullpen and make a significant impact there. Because I guarantee you, this might be a hot take, I don't know, but granted, the Yankees make a deep postseason run. The man who will make the most significant contribution out of the Yankees bullpen is not currently in there.
So are you saying it's either going to be, I have three people that come to mind. Either Domingo Germán,
no,
who you could argue is kind of already in there. Okay.
He could make an impact though. Yes, but I'm already kind of assuming that he's going to be in the bullpen.
Okay, because I'm trending the opposite direction. I'm starting to think like Nestor Cortez is like officially like a staple of the rotation going forward. That's just kind of how I'm feeling.
I don't think in the playoffs though.
That's I mean, because it depends like what you're talking with the playoffs. Like if it's like game 6, game 7, elimination game, like everything's on the table. Yeah, sure, he'll probably pitch out of the bullpen too. But I think like going into a postseason series, I gotta actually see him being like our game 4 starter or something. The other guy though I was going to mention is Luis Severino.
Correct. Yeah, I view him as such a significant contribution coming out of the bullpen. Like once he comes back, I don't even think that they should try him out as a starter, to be honest with you. I say Severino comes back and bro, you work him out of the bullpen just because he's not going to be starting games in the playoffs. He's not. So there's no point in like getting him acclimated as being a starting pitcher coming back when you could just throw him out of the bullpen from day one. And I get it. Like if you want Severino to be a starter, obviously going into next season, you don't want him to kind of like lose that. But I think this year is what matters the most. And I think him coming out of the bullpen would be the smartest thing the Yankees could do.
Okay, so I disagree on one thing, but I kind of have a point that goes towards what you're saying. One, I disagree that like it's a guarantee he's not going to start games in the postseason. I don't.
I'm not saying it's a guarantee,
or like why you think it's like a lock. But here's what I'm thinking: like it's Severino. He's not going to be built back up to like. We'll be lucky, I feel like, if we can get 5 innings at a Luis Severino this year. That's why I'm looking at it. But I do think we'll see Luis Severino start games. And by starting, I mean like an opener type deal where he'll be a 3-inning pitcher, right? Or like how he pitched in the 2018 wildcard game or 2019 ALDS game 3 against the Twins, where he throws like 4 innings and gets you into the 5th, leads it over the bullpen. So if that's the case, let's just say for easy math, he starts game 1 of an ALDS. Say Garrett Cole pitches Walker game, Sevy starts game 1 of the ALDS. He throws 3 innings. Okay. If that's the case, then game 4, you could bring him out of the bullpen and then bring him out again in game 6 or game 7 of like a 7-game series. You know what I'm saying? So like from that aspect, yes, if Sevy's not going to give us 5 innings, which I feel like you can't count on, you can still start him, get 3 to 4 innings out of him, and then he can come out of the bullpen 2-3 games later. So
yeah.
No, and it is pretty exciting, bro. It's pretty exciting now that like it's August 5th and the target date for Sevy and Kluber is August 20th to like September 1st, I believe they said. You can like feel it. Like now it's like it's reasonable to start talking about them as an option, you know? Like it's getting exciting now because like we're almost there. Like we're 2 weeks away from like getting an announcement that Luis Severino will be making his 2021 debut and Corey Kluber will be returning to the Bronx. Because now I can, you know how I felt about Corey Kluber ever since that interview I saw, and really ever since he went on. He's kind of been like a lost thought to me. I haven't been too excited about him coming back. But now that like we know he's throwing off a mound, he'll be making a rehab assignment soon. Now that like if Corey Kluber can come back, and I feel like him, you can get, because his injury is obviously not as severe as Tommy John surgery. You can build Corey Kluber back up to a 5-6 inning, hell, maybe even a 7-inning guy. Basically, like 9. I think he can get to like 90 pitches, 95 pitches. All of a sudden, bro, like if you remember how Corey Kluber was looking before he got hurt, like
he was the Yankees number 2 for sure.
That's a freaking very viable starter to pitch in game 2 or game 3 of a postseason series. So all of a sudden, bro, our starting pitching depth is looking terrific. Very good. Like you have Garrett Cole, obviously, as your ace. And then number 2, I mean, you can really it's a toss up between Jordan Montgomery, Jameson Tyone is
it's Tyone. Tyone's your number 2.
Sure, but also too, I would probably still go. I think we had this conversation last episode or 2 episodes ago. I would go with Jordan Montgomery, and it's really off of. I would go with Jordan Montgomery because Montgomery has been lights out too over the past month or 2.
Not the same as Tyone though.
No, of course not. But Monty, that game 4 start against Tampa Bay last year, that means something to me. And I've always said this about Montgomery. I feel like however he's going to pitch is how he's going to pitch. Like, I don't think the moment will overcome him at all. Like, I get that vibe off him. I don't have anything to really base it off of besides that postseason start last year. So I feel like starting him after Garrett Cole might be the way to go. But tomatoes. Montgomery, Tyone, and then after that, you can either go Cortez. You have Luis Severino. I just forgot about Corey Kluber. You have Corey Kluber. So, like,
You have Domingo Herman.
So, I mean, I feel like it's kind of a guarantee at this point. I don't think Domingo Herman's going to make any postseason starts. But,
Yeah.
like, point being, like, bro, like, assuming we make the postseason, which me, you, and I feel like majority of reasonable Yankee fans are assuming, like, we're set up pretty well pitching-wise. Very well.
For sure. No, for sure. And I think that's kind of like why when I look at Severino coming back, like I see him fitting best in the bullpen. But I see a lot of people in the chat throwing out there that Wandy Peralta is starting tomorrow. Is that true?
No way. Are you serious?
Bro,
let me see. I actually didn't even check MLB back because they won't even update it till probably like 5 minutes.
I would probably check Twitter. I would probably check Twitter. But bro,
okay. So Brennan Cuddy just tweeted out Wandy Peralta will start tomorrow.
Oh my god.
And by start that means open.
But
so
does that make any sense?
No, I mean, I guess it has to make sense.
It's not even like the Mariners have like a bunch of big lefties at the top of their lineup where they're like, let's just start Wandy Peralta as like a nice first inning matchup and then go from there. Who comes in after Peralta?
That's what I'm trying to think. Who's our long guy right now? I mean, who is our long guy right now?
Wait, we traded him to the Reds for nothing.
But who's like our bulk? I'm trying to think.
We don't have one. Licky?
Interesting. I guess. I mean, there's also like Ridings is still up. Right, so I mean, he might be a 2.
He'll only go. Perhaps. No, I can't see them doing that.
Really? I mean, I think he threw multiple innings in the minor league, so I mean, it's possible.
No, I know, but like in his second major league appearance.
Yeah, and we used Chad Green for 2 today, so that's kind of.
Have we talked about Ridings?
No, because we haven't been on since.
No,
and if people want to say I look like somebody, bro, I'll take him over Nick Nelson because I got a couple
exactly
people that
like
I look
Nick
like
Nelson.
Him.
No, you look exactly.
Bro, when
like
you
Nick
first
Nelson.
saw Ridings in the bullpen, did you not think that was Nick Nelson?
No.
I had to do a double check. No, come on. He looks like Nick Nelson.
No, he doesn't.
Nick Nelson. A more badass looking Nick Nelson. Yes, no, he does. That's a fact.
Yeah, but that's like, I guess. But like, bro, at the same time, I'm like, yo, Steven Ridings is an absolute stud. Now, I don't know if you're on like the same boat with me as far as he goes. Bro, when I see that dude warming up in the bullpen, I know he's only pitched once for the Yankees, but bro, he has such a look on his face. Like he wants to go out there and kill the opposition. Bro, that's exactly what we need though. I'm sorry. Like, bro, sometimes we have guys warming up in the bullpen out there and they have like this sad puppy dog look on their face. I'm like, this is not the guy that I want coming in. Like, bro, like a Brooks Krisky or even like a Nick Nelson. Bro, the confidence just isn't there. And the confidence oozes off of Steven Ridings. Like it's a can of slime, bro. And then he comes out to the mound. He has the swag of an absolute god. And then his stuff. Bro, we're talking a 101 mile an hour fastball with a 90 mile an hour sink, bro. He's disgusting. Definition of disgusting.
I got a hot take for you, bro. Like coming from me, you're gonna be surprised. I love that dope freaking fist bump that he did. Like whatever he did after his first strikeout, bro. That was sick.
He celebrates.
I was like, let's go, Steven Ridings. And bro, this dude. I also get some like what I was talking about Montgomery before. I get those same vibes as Steven Ridings after 1 inning, and for the fact that rest in peace to his grandmother, we found out passed away the day before that start. Just like the way he was talking about that, and it's like his overall. Like the vibes I got from his post-game press conference, this dude, like you said, like it seems like he's ready to like kill the opposition. And that was one impressive inning. I don't want to get like, I mean, I am very excited about him, but like in terms of like his performance this year, like how much he can impact this team, it was still like just 1 inning against the Baltimore Orioles. But like you got to figure like we'll be seeing him tomorrow.
Bro, based on that 1 inning, like I want him in the postseason bullpen. Like that's how serious I am after that 1 inning. Like I'm already like trying to like construct the Yankees bullpen like going into the playoffs, and I can't figure out a scenario where I don't include Steven Ridings. Like
and if we're gonna be giving credit to relievers, who's been pretty good so far, Pat?
Clay Holmes has been solid.
Clay Holmes has been very solid.
But you keep bringing this up like, oh, Pat hated Clay Holmes. He was wishing that he
were pretty against Clay Holmes. I know, because the reason I'm bringing this up I remember saying I'll bring it up. You were very against Clay Holmes.
Like, I was against
even as like a supplemental move. You were not about.
No, that's not true because we said, bro, we could get the clip. I was like, if this is not the only thing that the Yankees do and he ends up being good, so I'll be happy about it. But I just didn't like how we gave up Poit Jun Park, who's absolutely raking in Pittsburgh, by the way.
In like 6 games. Congratulations. Clay Holmes has been great.
What do you have against Park?
I don't have anything against Park, but I was I was into Holmes. And the thing is too, the reason
you could have gotten him for less though.
Clearly not.
I view that deal.
We don't think this conversation, but let me just go,
deal, bro.
Oh my god, no! But let me just talk about the Park thing, bro. Clearly, the return that we got back in Clay Holmes, not dissing him, but that shows that Park was not only not valued high by the Yankees, but across all of baseball. Because if the Yankees could have gotten more, if they could have gotten a better reliever, they
Bro,
would
we're
have.
not
And here's my
having this
point.
conversation.
I know.
No,
I don't
we're
want to have.
not. We're not. We're not.
I don't want to have this conversation. That's not what I'm saying. But the reason I bring up Clay Holmes so much is because you try to like not blame me, but you try to put it on me that like, oh, I'm just looking at like his advanced analytics. No, you did, because you said
at the
with
time,
Peralta, which wasn't true. Yes, I understand, but like you always bring up Wandy Peralta anytime the Yankees get like
because Wandy Peralta was really good in his like first 5 appearances with the Yankees. Like, let's not deny that.
Okay, whatever, bro. Let's just get Clay Holmes has been really good, and he also did something else that was great. He gave up, one of the very few hits he gave up this year was that, not a double, but was going to be a double to right field. That throw by Judge yesterday, bro. That was the best throw I've ever seen.
Oh, bro, no, okay. It wasn't the best throw I've ever seen. I've seen better.
No, it was for me. It was the best throw I've ever seen.
But that's a lie. You're lying to yourself.
But you know what's annoying about that? When that statement, you understand what that statement means? And I'm not saying this to you. I'm saying this to like people on Twitter that are idiots. I say the best throw that I've ever seen, and they bring up like Willie Mays' throw in 1958. Like,
no, dude, you don't even have to go that far back.
I was born. No, I'm not even saying that. But I was born in 2000. I literally mean the best throw that I've ever seen. I have not seen a throw that's better.
So Dan, so have you never seen like any of Cespedes' throws, like the one in Anaheim? You've never seen that one. You've never seen Mookie Betts' throw in Tampa.
I don't see it as being better. Now you could say it was just as good. That's fair, but I've never seen a throw that's better than that.
Okay, Dan, but I'm saying it's a very good throw. I'm saying it was a very good throw. It was not the greatest throw I've ever seen. I'll say that.
Whatever.
Laureano's, bro, Dan, you cannot compare that one to Laureano's throw, or you've never seen that one either.
I was gonna say, who's Laureano?
You're joking.
Swear to God. Yeah, and people are saying in the chat, Pat, you hated Clay Holmes, so let's get that.
No, I didn't. I hated the deal because I loved Hoy-Jun Park. I had nothing against Clay Holmes. I said the whole time, I was like, if he comes to New York and he absolutely shoves, I'll love him. Sorry, dude.
So you should be like passionately in love with him because he's done more than shove, but go on.
Well, I'm not passionately in love with anybody. But shout out to Derek, NYY Recaps. Derek says, just here to see the married couple fight. Fair enough. Bro, Derek always told me, he's like, yo, you and Dan are like a bickering married couple.
We are, because you are in love with me.
No, I think it's the other way around. But listen, we're kind of talking about new faces on the Yankees, right? Let's talk about Luis Gil, because he made an absolute beautiful debut with the Yankees, same day as Steven Ridings. Was that Tuesday? I think, right?
Sounds about right. And
yeah, I think it was Tuesday.
Speaking of, let me just comment on this first, because we were talking about Steven Ridings before. Like,
yeah, so
Gil, I was calling Gil.
Ignore the segue. That's fun.
Well, no, but I kind of took the segue and made it my own.
Fine.
But I just saw Derek's comment. But Gil, his debut got me very excited. But the reason Ridings' debut got me very excited is because like Gil's numbers in AAA like weren't all that good. He was good in AA, got called to AAA, he struggled with some control issues. But with Ridings, bro, like his numbers are incredible at AAA. And it makes you wonder, I don't want to go back to another topic here, but it makes you wonder, like, why did it take a COVID outbreak for them to call this guy?
Oh, I know. No, I know.
But go on about Gil. Gil was amazing.
No, yeah. I mean, all I'm trying to say is that Gil was the definition of like impressive, right? I think everyone always like rips me to shreds when I say this, but it was very, and obviously I'm not comparing the two guys, but it was very reminiscent of like the impact that Deivi Garcia had when he came up with the Yankees last year. I'm not comparing the two pitchers at all. Obviously, Gil is more polished. He looks more fluid. He has better stuff, but I'm saying as far as like impact-wise, Luis Gil gives me that same vibe that I felt when watching Deivi Garcia last year. But also, bro, I'm kind of like viewing it like this. You know how we were just talking about Steven Ridings, bro? This is turning into like the Steven Ridings show. But I feel like he has a much better chance of staying up once the guys come back from COVID and the injuries than Gil has, simply because we were talking about the Yankees starting pitching depth. I just don't see a way where Gil fits in with this team. Even if he goes like 6 scoreless again on Sunday, I don't see a way where they keep him up.
Yeah, I mean, when you bring up Deivi as like a positive, like that's what I was going to bring up almost as a negative. Because like on the flip side, bro, like you look at Deivi and like, yeah, the impact he made last year, like we were thinking like this guy might be our 5th starter coming out of spring training this year. So like with Gil, like he could look good like this the rest of the year, but it doesn't mean that he's polished just because we see like 6 really solid starts. And it's crazy too, because like it's right around the exact same time. I think Deivi made his debut last year, like right like before the trade deadline. So like he probably had like what, like 6, 7, 8 starts. I don't know. So with Gil, like, yeah, I don't think he has like, I think he's making another start on Sunday, but I don't think he's going to be like have that much of an immediate impact that Debbie did. And you just got to hope that like he continues to progress like either in the minors next year or like maybe out of the. I don't see him having a starting spot in the rotation next year, but like you really just got to hope that like it wasn't just a flash in the pan or like a fluke. Because I mean, he is our number 6 prospect, right?
Well, no, yeah,
Deal.
exactly. And I kind of think,
but what I'm saying is though is that like Debbie, like if you look at the step back he took this year, like Debbie's not like a sure thing all of a sudden. So it's not like Heel is a sure thing.
No, I'm not saying it's a sure thing, but I think like going into spring training next year, I think he can make like a very valid fight for like the 5th spot in the rotation easily. Like I think that he could kind of have like the same mentality that like the Yankees had as far as like Debbie Garcia goes, going into this year. Like I think that Debbie, it was basically a competition between Debbie and Herman for that final spot in the rotation. I think it's very possible we could see Heel competing for a spot in the rotation this spring. Well, next spring.
I think it's possible, but if like we talk about the starting depth, the starting pitching depth right now. I mean, like the only subtraction out of that after this year is going to be Corey Kluber, who's literally our only free agent, which is a big. Well, actually, besides Rizzo and Gallo, or just Rizzo and Kluber.
Yeah, and honestly, there's no shot in Kluber coming back at all.
No, Kluber won't come back. So I mean, but like still, if you look at the starting pitching depth, I mean, like not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but like what is our rotation going into next year? It's like you have Garrett Cole, then I guess Sevi is pegged as a number 2, and then you have Monty, Tyone.
I forgot about Sevi, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, so I mean, like, but injuries obviously will happen. So
yeah,
if an injury happens and like we don't sign anybody in the wintertime, I haven't looked at the free agents. He could compete. Like, put it like this: if there's a 5th starter competition next year, you figure would be in it.
Yeah, I would probably agree. We're talking about fresh faces still. Might as well bring up this topic here. Dan, this pissed me off so much last night when I saw this. The Yankees sending Greg Allen down in AAA. Now, listen, I'm trying to like. For the past 24 hours, I've been trying to like wrap my head around this and kind of like figure out why the Yankees would make such a move. And the only thing that pops into my head, I have a conspiracy theory. I don't think that I'm the only one that thinks this either. I think that the Yankees viewed Greg Allen as a threat to Brett Gardner's playing time. And bro, I say that like with 1,000% like knowledge in my brain, bro. I truly think that the Yankees looked at Greg Allen. They're like, yo, this dude's raking way too much here. I think that, honestly, if he continues doing this, people are going to be screaming for him to start over Gardner. We're going to give him the boot before this actually happens. Because, bro, you can't tell me that Jonathan Davis and Brett Gardner are better than what Greg Allen gave the Yankees over the past month.
No, I'm annoyed that Allen's being sent down if they were going to use him as a starting center fielder. But the thing is that they clearly weren't. Like, Brett Gardner.
Yeah, but why?
No, that's but we know that. Like, Brett Gardner shouldn't be the starting center fielder. But with the knowledge that he is the starting center fielder, you're looking at the backup outfielder. And Jonathan Davis, he serves that role better than Greg Allen. And it's for one simple fact. He's faster. And I'm pretty sure his defense is actually better as well. So, I mean, like, with the knowledge, like, you can argue all you want that Brett Gardner should not be the starting center fielder. You know, I'm with you.
It's not an argument. It's a fact.
No, I know. Everybody is with you. Everybody's with you. I'm with you.
So why aren't the Yankees?
Dude, this is like such a worn out.
No, because bro, I'm sitting here and trying to understand their reasoning, but I can't wrap my head around it. No matter, I'm picturing every scenario in my head. That's why I'm coming up with the fact that they just.
No, you're right, but it's what we know. Brett Gardner is the Yankees' starting center fielder. Like, I feel like we shouldn't even talk about it anymore because that's what it is. He's their starting center fielder. So with that information, Greg Allen was the 4th outfielder, the backup outfielder, speed off the bench. Jonathan Davis better serves that role because he's faster and he's a better defender. Does that make sense? So I'm totally fine with the move.
I know, but bro, like I talked about this,
Gardner, and that's fine.
Dan, you know it's way past that at this point. You can't look at Brett Gardner and say, "Damn, that's my starting center fielder." You can't. It's not even about hating Brett Gardner. Obviously, I don't like the dude. I'm not a fan of him. But also at this point, it's not even like not liking Brett Gardner. It's despising the organizational treatment of him. That's what it is at this point. It's like, but also, bro, you should be looking at Brett Gardner and be like, bro, at what point do you take the high road and literally just retire and like just save yourself the embarrassment? Because now someone in my chat made a very good point the other day. And they brought up that quote, right? I forgot what it was. It's like you either like retire the hero or you stay around long enough to become the villain.
Or you live long enough to yourself become the villain.
And that's what has happened to Brett Gardner, bro. When he retires, people aren't going to be cheering because like they're ecstatic that he's like the Yankee legend. They're going to be clapping because they're excited to see him go, bro. And that's what it is. But yeah, let's pull up
that dono. I'll answer that dono.
No, we have one dono we got to touch on before this.
Oh.
But shout out to Miguel Batista with the $5 dono. Appreciate you so much, Miguel, with the $5 dono. He says, Davey didn't impress me one bit. I say trade him. Well, listen, unfortunately, he doesn't really have too much value at this point. And I think that that's kind of like the main reason why the Yankees can't deal him.
Yeah. Yeah. Debbie, like you kind of just got to hope like that he bounces back, has a good spring trade, good rest of the year in the minors, which that season isn't like too much longer. I guess it goes what's like the first week of September, and then a good spring training next year. And hey, Debbie, like his stuff can translate to the bullpen. So I mean, like that's a piece you could look at to be like pull a Jonathan Loaisiga, just convert him to full-time bullpen piece. But yeah, can you pull up the next one? I just want to answer it.
Well, yeah.
Unless you have something to say.
No. Shout out to Ruben Cruz with the $2 dono. He says, "How is Davis a better option than Allen?" Dan,
Okay,
floor is yours.
Okay, I mean, I'm literally just going to repeat exactly what I just said. But what we know is Brett Gardner is the Yankees' starting center fielder. So with that,
which he shouldn't be.
He shouldn't be. I'm with you 100% on that. The Yankees should have gotten themselves a center fielder. And I would totally be for Greg Allen being the Yankees' starting center fielder. But we know, Brian Cashman said it, Aaron Boone said it, Brett Gardner is the Yankees' starting center fielder. So with that information in mind, Greg Allen's role was a fourth outfielder, a backup outfielder, guy off the bench. With that knowledge, Jonathan Davis is the better option because serving that role, Jonathan Davis provides more speed off the bench, and he also is listed as a better defender than Greg Allen. Does that mean Jonathan Davis would be a better starting fielder than Greg Allen on a consistent basis? No, but that's not what he's doing. Just because you saw him start tonight does not mean he's going to be starting every single game. He'll probably be starting maybe once a week, and he'll provide speed off the bench. So there you go.
Listen, I understand what you're saying, that like he kind of suits that role as a fourth outfielder better, but he's not necessarily better than Greg Allen. He's just a better fit for Greg Allen's spot. That's exactly basically what you're saying. Yeah. That's exactly, but also, bro, at the same time, like I hate to kind of like harp on this Greg Allen thing, but it's like you kind of like, I know you're going to disagree with me when I say this, but if I'm a minor leaguer in the Yankees organization right now, I would not want to be on this team. I just wouldn't, simply because I'm looking at like the amount of opportunities that I'd be getting in the Yankees organization compared to like the Rangers, for example. Bro, if I got traded to a different organization, I'd be ecstatic. And despite the fact I grow up as a diehard Yankee fan, I would love to play for a different team simply because I know I wouldn't get any opportunities with the Yankees. How many very talented outfielders have we seen go in and out of this organization that honestly just have ruined their careers because of Brett Gardner? I hate to say it, but not even just because of Brett Gardner, but just because like the Yankees' devotion to players who are kind of underperforming. Like you look at Clint Frazier, you look at Mike Tauchman, now you look at Greg Allen, you could even bring up like a Trey Ambergy. But bro, there's so many guys, and that's just within the past 2 years or so. I'm getting very frustrated with the organization who kind of prides themselves in being like so analytically advanced, but they tend to ignore the analytics when it comes to like they view analytics in a very rose-colored glasses when it comes to like their favorite players. When you look at like a Tyler Wade, sorry Jalen, you Wade lover in the chat. When it comes to like Brett Gardner, we talked about this last time, bro. A dude who's ranked dead last in like expected batting average, expected slugging percentage. So this is just where the organization pisses me off, and I love Brian Cashman for what he's done at the deadline. But then it's things like this that piss me off and kind of make me flip on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean I totally understand that, and like I understand your hate of Brett Gardner, and I don't want Brett Gardner to be the Yankees starting center fielder. He hasn't produced like a starting outfielder at all. But the thing is, like,
but do you realize it's not the hate of Brett Gardner? If this was Cameron Maybin, I would feel the same exact way.
No, I understand, but also too keep in mind, like this is how it's always been with the Yankees, and like you could argue this like with a lot of players, like dating back to like really ever since George took over, like when there was consistently stars. I know we're talking about Brett Gardner, but like at every position, like. There's been a lot of minor leaguers that would probably prefer to be on another organization because, like, very rarely do opportunities show themselves. The only time they really do is when there's injuries, you know. So, like, unless Brett Gardner gets injured, which I feel like he never does. Like,
no, he never does. That's the only thing I'll give this dude.
I literally feel like it was like last time was like 2012 was the last time he was injured. So, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying on that, but like, I think it just like I'm so, and this is a terrible thing I feel like to have because you love talking about how much you hate Brett Gardner. I'm so worn out about the Brett Gardner conversation. Like, there's nothing more for me to add to it. He shouldn't be the Yankees starting center fielder. He hasn't produced like the Yankees starting center fielder, but he is the Yankees starting center fielder. So I just accepted and move on.
If this was 2016, I'd be like, all right, like, bro, let his last year like go out on top. But it's the fact that we're gonna see this dude again next season in the Bronx that pisses me off the most.
Oh no, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think Brett Gardner's done. I don't think he's coming back.
I think it all comes down to whether or not he does. Because I think if he does, he will come back. Like, the Yankees will bring him back if he wants to come back. I truly think so.
No, I don't think Brett Gardner's coming back next year. Unless he has like a finish like he did last year where he played really well down the stretch. I don't see him coming back.
Fair enough. But listen, we could talk about one guy who's kind of rehabbing in, I think, AAA or AA. He's with one of the Yankees minor league teams rehabbing right now. That's Luke Voit. And one of the guys who we were such heavy advocates of, like, the Yankees dealing at the trade deadline. And I'm very surprised that they didn't. I think the only reason they probably didn't is because his value probably wasn't as high as they'd like it to be, especially with the underperforming this year and the injuries and everything. But he's expected to be back within the first week or the next week or so, right? So I don't know where he's going to fit with this team. My only assumption is you can kind of have like Voit and Rizzo kind of split first base and DH, and then you also like rotate Stanton between the outfield and DH. I think the Yankees like are going to have a lot to do. Also, I mean, the fact that Stanton played the outfield in Miami, that's huge. But I think the Yankees are going to have a little cycle going on as far as like first base and DH in the outfield.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what's going to have to happen. Like, I feel like the simple answer is because one, Rizzo, he's literally going to play like every day. So I don't think like we'll see. I feel like we'll see Luke Voit, assuming he's healthy. I think we'll see him play first base like maybe five times the rest of the year. And yeah, I feel like his only playing time will come at DH, and then Stanton will have to play left field. Which at this point in the season, like,
you don't think we're going to see him at first?
I think at like maybe around 5 times, which isn't a lot. Because Rizzo's going to play, he's going to play there every single day.
I mean, he's also a much better defender.
No, he is 100%. So like, it's not like a case where like, oh, even if both Voit and Rizzo were going to play, like you wouldn't ever DH Rizzo, you would DH Voit all the time and play Rizzo at first base. So with Stanton, and I want to give props to the Yankees on something. I feel like ever since like, they said, or Boone said the season's on the line, they have been actually pretty good with playing guys like every single day. Like they haven't been lame with the rest days recently. So I feel like
I agree.
If it gets to that point, which it's going to, because Voit is healthy, Stanton will be seeing a lot of time in left field, because if they feel that their best lineup will come with Luke Voit in it, and obviously Rizzo in it and Stanton in it, Stanton will play left field, Voit will DH, and Rizzo will stay at first. Now, I did read an article this morning by, keep in mind, it was Andy Martino, so take it with a grain of salt. He mentioned that there's like Luke Voit, he has options.
Just like Jack Harlow.
I don't know what that means, but Voit does
You're
have
so
options.
uncultured, bro.
I don't know who Jack Harlow is, but they could.
No, you're joking. No, you're joking, right? You don't know who Jack Harlow is.
No, should I look him up? If he's from a TV show?
The artist?
Oh, no, I don't know
what's poppin'.
Jack Harlow is.
What?
Pat.
Chat.
I don't even I hardly listen to music.
Does anyone in the chat know who Jack Harlow is?
They probably does.
They probably does. No, I know exactly what you're saying. Now, I don't think that they're gonna like have him go down in AAA. Though.
I don't think so either. But the way I see it is like, if you're gonna have him up, like you got to play him. So assuming they do have him up, then I think it will be Stanton will play in left. I don't think Voit will be playing like 7 days a week. I think it will be like he might play like 3 to 4 days a week. Because what have we been saying? Like ideally, Giancarlo he'll be playing left 3 to 4 times a week, and when he does play left, that's when Voit will get into the lineup.
I think he's got to play left in the postseason. But let's talk about that in a second.
He will.
Dan,
he will.
Dan, do you see the chat? Literally everyone. Yes.
I don't
no
listen. Let's go, Alexander. I hardly listen to music.
Man's not cultured. Sean.
You know what? Listen, music I listen to.
What?
101.9 The Fan and 98.7 ESPN, the Michael K Show.
I can't drive unless I'm listening to music. I would lose my mind in the car. So you never listen to music in the car?
No, I do. I'll listen to it when I'm with Andrew. I'll listen to music in the car. But if I'm by myself,
like the radio, or you got like a Spotify playlist?
No, I have a spot. It's called Yellow American Cheese. It has like all random songs. I name my playlists after cheese.
I make a new playlist literally like once every couple weeks, just because, bro, I cycle through songs so much.
The gym, I'll always listen to music. But yeah, no. Besides that, if I'm like by myself, like tomorrow, like
you're pumping iron, you're listening to Michael K.
Yeah. Like when I'm driving tomorrow, I'll be listening to like The Fan the entire time.
Of course you will. I'm not surprised. But listen, let's look at a couple donos here. Shout out to Chris Colarusso with the $5 dono. Appreciate you so much, Chris. He says, "Hey Pat and Dan." Hello, Chris. First live chat in forever. Woke up for work at 4 and watch every morning. Free Greg Allen, Gallo Moonshot. We need more Italians. Bro, the Yankees are getting very Italianized. Did you see there was a couple dudes behind home plate, I think, last night, where they were like waving an Italian flag, and then the security guy comes up. He's like, "Nah, you can't do that."
I didn't see that. Why would the security guard have a problem with that?
I guess because like, they were blocking view.
Okay. If that's the case, then that's fair. That's fair.
That would probably. I mean, also like those are very expensive.
There were more fuck Altuve chants today.
And that pisses me off so much.
I know. And my boy Keith, he caught him, bro. He got him on video. It's on his Twitter. At Keith McPherson. They were literally like, it was a group of like 7 or 8 kids, probably honestly like our age or whatever. And like, I guess they were the only ones doing
Casuals.
it. I'm not sure. But like, bro, you could just tell like they were just like, yeah, I had like meaner words that would get us canceled to call them. But yeah, no, casuals. And they just did not look like people that I would get
But
along with.
you know what it feels like to me? It feels like those people literally are just like pissed off they didn't make it to like the Houston series at Yankee Stadium, and now they just want to like be in on the fun. Bro, I say this
Yeah.
all the time. You make yourself look stupid with the FL2 chance.
You
Like
can tell,
literally
bro,
just stop.
it's the most like easily identifiable way to label
Bro,
someone
but
as a
those are the
casual.
same people who like if the Mets are playing the Red Sox and they're like
I
Yankees, they
know.
do a Yankee Sox chant, they're like rent free, rent free. Bro, the
Yeah.
Astros are living in your head rent free. Move on. It is
I
what it
know.
is.
I told you the only way if they wanted to do it, I would be like cool with is if they made it like a quick like 5-second thing as part of
After
like
the
the roll call in the first inning. That would kind of have worked like just for like this year, but like nah, you can't just be doing it like.
It's
Are you
so
kidding me?
annoying.
Like I'm pretty sure Joey Gallo just hit his go ahead homer, and then like I think the next inning when Brenton was pitching, they chanted the FL2 base. Now
So
I don't want to
stupid.
like put a blanket over everybody because it literally was just I'm pretty sure like a group of like 10 kids. So like it's
No,
not all
yeah.
like majority of people are like competent individuals aren't idiots that are doing this, but like it's that silent, not silent, but like that loud
Minority.
loud
Yeah.
minority. Yes,
No,
loud
for
minority
sure.
that you can hear.
Listen, shout out to Enrique with the $2 dono, no message, but appreciate you, Enrique. You're a
Oh,
legend. Also, we got a pretty big donor here. Shout out to Michael Carbone with the $15 dono. Appreciate you, my man. He says, Pat and Dan, when will Judge go on a home run tear? Dan, this might be a question for you. He's been off since coming off the COVID IL. Need Judge to get to 40. Had a big bet at the beginning of the season. He would get to that number. Dan, you think we're going to see Judge get
yeah.
to 40?
I think 40 is, I don't want to say out of the question now. I still think he's going to have like a big home run tear. He's historically been really good in September. But listen, here's the thing with Judge. Anytime he's had one time in his career where he came off the IL/COVID where he's been good. And that was 2019 coming back from the oblique. But besides that, 2018, he wasn't good immediately off the IL. Last year, he was horrible right off the IL. And this year, it's been the same way too with the COVID IL. So, I mean, Judge, he like suffers from IL rust more than anybody. It's, he's going to be good. It's going to take probably, I'd say give him another couple games and it really just will come down to like, he'll just need that one game or he gets like a 3-hit game, maybe like a 2-homer game, something like that. So seeing the ball well and he'll take off from there. So 40
I
homers,
don't
I
know
don't think that's
why.
going to be happening, but obviously he's going to hit 30. That's out of the question. I think he'll like land somewhere around like 35, and this is what I said last time on the show. Like,
Yeah,
the way
exactly.
I look at Judge's season this year is like, it's a 2008 A-Rod season, or like the way you can look at like Mookie Betts' season this year. Like elite players will have average years. And that's what Judge is having this year. And it's a compliment to him almost. Like he's having an average year for an elite player, which is cool. He has like a 140 weighted runs created plus, 22 homers, hitting like 280, 380 on base, slugging like 520. So it's just an average year for an elite player, which is
Yeah,
fine.
at least he's not having like a Bellinger type year. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I feel so bad for Bellinger, bro.
Makes no
He's
sense.
literally hitting, bro. He literally has like a negative WAR, I think, and like
No, he's
they
worse
dropped him
than
down.
Brett Gardner.
They dropped him
Bringing up
down to
Brett Gardner.
8th, yo, and like that's what's really got to be tough. Like
It's
understanding like,
mental
okay,
at this point, for sure.
this is 100%, and like he's probably smoking that Bunch, but like it's gotta suck when like you have an MVP, like a guy that literally won an MVP, and like he's not like Albert Pujols where like he's 40 years old and you can just like release him or whatever. Like this dude is what should be in the prime of his career. And like you're having to contemplate, like, okay, should we even start him? And when we do start him, we got to bat him 8th. And like come postseason time, bro, like there's a possibility that like the MVP of 2 years ago isn't even starting. And I'm a big fan of Cody Bellinger. I've been a huge fan of Bellinger, bro, ever since that dope ass interview he gave, like right after the Astros cheating scandal broke out. And the first thing he said was, people forget that Altuve stole an MVP from Judge in 2017. I'm like,
yeah,
big fan of Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I hope he improves. I'm not trying to turn this into a Cody Bellinger show, but I mean, his struggles this year are ridiculous. Shout out to Ruben Cruz with the $2 dono. Appreciate you, Ruben. He says you missed my second dono. Ruben, I'm so sorry, but sometimes, bro, we just get so like into the thick of things here. Like that TikTok into the thick of it. Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, what? Siri just popped up for me, so I can't hear what you're saying.
Appreciate you so much, Ruben. Also, we got another dono here from the man Brian Cashman of the $2 dono. Brian, mixed feeling towards you, but he says, Pat, who's Jack Carlo? This is a troll comment. It has to be.
Oh, is it the guy you mentioned before? Let's go, Brian.
No, it's Harlow.
Harlow. I don't care. I don't know who this guy is. I'm sure he's a nice
you're
dude.
Uncultured. You're the same guy who tweeted out like last week. You're like, who is Pop Smoke?
No, I didn't tweet
that out.
Somebody asked me if I knew Pop Smoke, and I said no.
Oh, well, you do. That's a troll because you do know who Pop Smoke is.
No, I don't. Well, I do now. I didn't know who Pop Smoke was. What do you mean?
So prior to last week, you didn't know who Pop Smoke was.
No, I had no idea. I couldn't tell you one of his songs right now. Now, perhaps if he's like a musician, like maybe I heard one of his songs on the radio, and like I mean I've heard him, but like I don't know who Pop Smoke is.
Do you live under a rock?
Pat, what have we had? We've had this conversation before, bro. Like we're very much both into baseball. We're very similar, but it's a tier above for me. Like this is literally everything to me, bro. Like my entire day is just baseball, baseball, baseball. So like I don't know. I hardly watch any TV shows. It's the Michael K.
No,
there
same
is one
though.
show. There is one show that I watch, High School Musical, the series, that I'm cultured in. Very disappointed with the season 2 finale, by the way.
I might have to get up and leave right now. So you're cultured as far as High School Musical, the series.
The series, yeah, get it right.
But you don't know who Jack Harlow or Pop Smoke is.
No. I do know who Eminem is, though. Somebody said I don't. But I actually am not a big, not to get too into this, but I'm not a big Eminem fan. Like, I was at the gym today, right? And you know the amazing song Forever, right? Once Eminem's part comes on, bro, I immediately turn off the song.
But Dan, that song's from like 2008.
11. Thank you. I'm pretty
sure. Can you name the people on that song?
Yes. Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Drake. That's it. But I do like that song.
There was one more, you missed it.
To wrap this up, I hate Eminem. I despise him. But I give him credit that I think he created the best song of all time. I'm sure if he wrote it or not. Bro, When I'm Gone, like I consider that to be like
that's a very quality song.
That might be like the greatest song of all time.
Bro, that was my slapper in like 5th grade.
And yes, I do know who Logic is. I didn't know who Kanye is. Logic's the guy that sings that song that I listen to after the Yankees lose.
That's probably the only reason you know.
The 1-800 song.
But listen, we were kind of talking about Cody Bellinger for a second, right? And you were talking about like what the Dodgers are going to do with him as far as the postseason goes. Dan, like if we kind of look at like the Yankees lineup construction, like as far as the postseason goes, they have so many different like ways that they could go with it. But I think the only direction that they can go, like we kind of mentioned before, throwing Giancarlo Stanton in the outfield and then DHing Luke Voit, and you have Gary Sanchez catching. Like I'm saying this right now, and this is like a topic. This is a show topic all in itself. But I can't see a way how you start Kyle Higashioka in a game 1 or like a wild card game, bro. I don't care how much Garrett Cole loves him. You can't start him in that game. I'm not losing out on Gary Sanchez's bat in a wild card game.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair if you want to, like, it depends because, I mean, like, the way Gary's been hitting the last, like, 2 or 3 weeks, like, it's a little bit more forgivable if Boone decides to do that, but, like, it's not forgivable in the sense that, like, Garrett Cole has proven that he can pitch to Gary Sanchez. So, like, from that aspect, like, yeah, Gary should be starting. Like, in a wild card game, like, I feel like 100%. I don't know. I feel like there's 2 different – I'm torn, actually. Now that I think about it, I'm torn, like, because –
we say that, but I don't think they'll start Gary. I think Higgy's going to start regardless of what we think.
Oh, I'm not saying what I think will happen, but I'm saying what should happen. I don't know in a sense. And the reason for that is like, say it's a wild card game. Let's just say it's a wild card game. Like, do you go with the advantage of Garrett Cole being the most comfortable in a winner go home game? Or do you go with like the possibility of Gary Sanchez having the ability to literally change?
It's tough.
With one
swing?
It's
really tough.
Yeah. So
I feel
like the wild card game makes it tough. ALDS game 1, say we win the division, then I think you should start Gary. But say Cole doesn't look good in game 1 and then it gets to a potential game 5, then you could start Higgy in game 5 and I forgive you. If Cole didn't look good in game 1 with Gary. I know there's a lot there. But.
I mean, but also it's like at the same time, like I know we knock Higgy, but like it's not like throwing Rob Brantley out there. Like, you know what I mean? Like Higgy's the type where he can like just turn on one out of nowhere and just give the Yankees like a 2-0 lead. You know what I mean? Bro, Rob Brantley though, he's the definition of useless. I'm sorry. Like Rob Brantley, I'm sorry. He's a nice guy. Dan, there's a difference between being a nice guy and like not being a good baseball player. He's just not. I wanted, who I wanted the Yankees to call up? What's the dude's name? Donnie Sands. He's been absolutely raking.
You know what's really cool about Donnie Sands? I'm not sure if you've ever seen it or not. You can go on YouTube and look at it. There's a little video he did, and I remember watching when I was like I think 15 of him getting drafted and like going to his mom's house and like or like his mom's work and be like I just got drafted by the Yankees. No, it was. I mean, I don't know if it's inspiration. It was cool. It was just like a cool video. So like I just like the fact that like. I not watched him get drafted, but like I've been following him since like I was 15. So like, yeah, that would be cool. He just got promoted, I think, to AA or AAA. Was it?
I think AAA. I think he got called up AAA.
The thing is, with the whole Gary and Higgy thing, if Gary is on one of those stretches from like a month ago where he was tearing the cover off the ball and every single pitch is thrown to him, then I feel like you have no excuse but to start him. But like he's cooled off over the last 2-3 weeks, you know. So like I could forgive Boone and the Yankees for starting Higgy, in a wild card game.
Well, I'll never forgive them for anything. But Jalen. shout out to Jay Lonzo. He makes a good point in the chat. He says Cole has had like 3 clunkers in July with Higgy. The personal catcher thing should be dead. I think that's also like my reasoning behind it too. It's not like 2020 where like the splits between like Higgy and Cole were so drastic between like Gary and Cole. Like honestly, if you look at the splits this season, I obviously don't know them off the top of my head, but I think it's very possible that his stats with Gary might be better just because it's a much smaller sample size as well.
You can't look into it because it's a much smaller sample size. Yeah, but like,
yeah.
You know, I if it was Dan, the manager, like I would start Gary Sanchez, but like in a win or go home wild card game, like I will put some stock in. Like my decision, like there will be some stock put into like Garrett Cole being more comfortable with Higgy. You know?
Yeah,
it's a decision. Like I don't have a decision right now. Like I would be torn. Like I have to see, like say the wild card game was tomorrow. If Garrett Cole was like adamant that he wanted Higgy, I probably would start Higgy. Which that's more so to blame on Garrett Cole than the Yankees. That's probably blame.
I would say it's fair. But also like I guess there's another guy I kind of want to talk about here, and I don't know if chat's gonna kind of get on me for this, but I think DJ LeMahieu has been a little bit overhated this season. Like I know he's not like performing like DJ LeMahieu like as usual. I get that. Like bro, you signed him to a big contract this season. You expect him to kind of put up the same numbers he did in 2019, 2020. But I don't think he's been that bad to the point where like people are literally calling for him to like bat like 8 in the lineup. He hasn't been that bad, bro.
I think that's some recency bias. I'm not sure if you would have said that 3 days ago. Maybe you would have.
I don't think he should be their leadoff hitter, but I don't think he's been like terrible.
No, he's been pretty bad. He's been below league average offensively.
He hasn't been bad. He's been average.
He's been average, but you also shouldn't be batting him in the leadoff spot. Like, but now if DJ's gonna be picking it back up, like if he could be like a 115, 110 weighted runs created plus guy, I'll be cool with him leading off. But I gotta say, when you saw that fake lineup that came out the other day, with DJ betting like 8th or 9th,
everyone fell for it.
I was pumped when that came out. I was all for that. But listen, if DJ starts hitting the ball the way he has been the last, I forget what he did today, but like the Baltimore series, the last 2 games, he was looking good. If he can hit the ball that way and just be, good old fashioned DJ, then no problem with him batting leadoff. But like he hasn't lived up to, like, I don't say the hype, but like he hasn't lived up to like what he's been. And that's the same as like the hate on Giancarlo Stanton. You can kind of make the same case for him.
Like, Torres too.
He's not having I think Gleyber gets the most blame or should get the most hate out of anybody.
I mean, that's the most deserved too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. I don't want to like say hate on anybody, but like with Stanton, he's not having a bad season. He hasn't been awful by any means, but like in terms of expectations, like he's drastically underperformed.
So. Sure. No, I think, but that's also what we're looking at, right? We're comparing expectations to kind of production, like
which is a big part of it.
No, for sure. But if you kind of look at like if Gleyber Torres was putting up like DJ LeMahieu numbers, I think we'd be satisfied.
I wouldn't be satisfied with that.
No,
I would be less. It wouldn't be as like shocking. Like I wouldn't be like looking at Gleyber's stats and be like, "What the hell happened?" It'd just be like, "Man, he's on a down year." And also too, like we get fooled by DJ's batting average in a way where like if you actually look at how unproductive he's been, like that batting average, like take a look at the 35 game on base streak, for example. It was just singles. Like he didn't I don't think he raised his batting average at all in that span. And like you look at the average with runners in scoring position. What has DJ always been a lock with? That he's had like a 400 batting average over his first 2 years. This year, at least going into the Baltimore series, he was hitting like 245 with runners in scoring position. I think now it's up to like 270 after that. Yeah, that good series. But DJ's been disappointing. But listen, if the Yankees find themselves into the playoffs, which they will, and he could perform like good old DJ LeMahieu in the postseason, all will be forgotten. And
I mean that, for sure. But that's also what it was like with Aaron Judge going into last year's playoffs, right? Like everyone's like, Judge, like we don't care you missed the whole season, just show up in the playoffs. Like,
and that's how it always. That is overblown in the sense Judge's performance last year. No. Listen, like obviously, like stats wise, he wasn't great, and like there was
but his hits counted, yeah.
But that's what I was about to say. Like Judge for having a down postseason, which it was the worst postseason of his career, he did hit 3 go-ahead home runs, which is pretty cool. He had the wildcard game 1 against Cleveland, against Shane Bieber, the AL Cy Young, which completely set the tone for that series. And then he had the go-ahead home run in ALDS game 1 against the Rays. And then in game 5, people forget, the lone run that we scored was a go-ahead home run by Aaron Judge in the 5th inning. So keep that in mind when you want to I'm not saying this to you, but just people in general totally criticizing. It came down to 1 run. That's why
I have DJ LeMahieu stats right here. And I'm going to be honest with you. I did not know that he had a 363 slugging.
Dude, it's horrible. That's what I'm saying. Like, you look at the batting average, like, what is he hitting? Like 270, I think, something like that.
267.
267. So, yeah, I mean, and then you look at, like, I'm not sure if you're using Fangraphs or MLB, but, like, if I look at his weighted runs created plus, let me see what it is. I think it's, like, sitting right around 100 right now, which is a slight improvement. Okay, so his live stats, he's hitting, 267. His weighted runs created plus is 99. So, I'll give him an extra +1. He's right around league average. Like, that's not what DJ LeMahieu is supposed to be.
But that's what I'm saying. He's been average. He's just been bad in
No,
DJ
but
standards.
well, it
Kind of like
depends.
the way we view Judge. But Judge is like average and elite standards.
No, but it's different. No, but it's different in a way because, like, Judge underperforming, which, like, you can say he has, like, this year, is still really good. Like, Judge is still having, like, technically an elite season, technically. Whereas DJ, like, his average is like what he did in Colorado, besides that one outlier year, where, like, he's right around the league average offensive player, and that's totally fine when you're batting ninth. But your leadoff hitter, so you're telling me that the guy you want to give the most at bats to is the guy who's a league average offensive player, and not somebody like Aaron Judge, who's elite, Joey Gallo, who's produced elite.
No, it's a fair argument.
Rizzo,
For, bro, if someone's gonna come on here and be like DJ sucks, like, I'm not gonna be like, bro, like, you're wrong. Like, it's a fair argument at this point. Sure. I want to bring up this donor here from Michael with the $5 donor. Appreciate you so much, Michael. He says DJ is having the same off year Jeter had in 2010. Jeter went from 334 in 2009 to 270.
Very similar, actually. That's a good point. Yeah, no, Jeter had a very
nice
down
comparison.
Year. Yeah, no, that's a good comparison. And then,
but I mean, that's a good comparison because didn't Jeter like have a ridiculous year in 2012? So it's like, it's not saying like just because DJ LeMahieu's having a down year this year, that he's not going to be able to like show up ever again.
No, and I don't want anyone to think like I'm like to take this as like me hating on DJ LeMahieu, because I like DJ LeMahieu, and I still do, like, say it's bases loaded in like the ninth inning, like, and DJ's up, regardless of what kind of year he's having, I still do feel like pretty good, like, with my chances. One, because same thing I said about Montgomery before, like, I don't feel like whatever he's going to do, I think that's just what he's going to do. Like, I don't think anything to do with like the moment, and I don't believe in like clutch, that like some players are better in the clutch. But I do believe in clutch for that. Like, no, I don't believe in clutch. There's two different, for like, the way people believe in clutch, there's two different ways to think about it.
Okay.
There's one that players just get better in the clutch. Like, they become literally a better player in a clutch situation. I don't buy into that at all. What I do believe in is the way I look at clutch, which is that in a big situation, players don't get like overcome by the moment. And that's how I feel about DJ LeMahieu. I feel like regardless if it's like,
I feel like it's the same thing though, because being overcome by the moment makes you perform better.
No, but I'm saying like DJ LeMahieu, like, say it's the top of the first inning, leading off, nobody's on base. I feel like if he's going to get a single, he's going to get a single the same way he would, like, if it's bases loaded in the ninth inning and we're down by 1, if that makes sense. Where, like, regardless of what the situation is, he's going to hit the way he's going to hit. Does that make sense?
I'm going to say no, only because I think that there's like such a mental aspect to like clutch situations.
No, I don't know, because, and like same with Tanaka in the postseason, right? Like, I don't think Tanaka became a better pitcher, like literally became a better pitcher in the postseason. I think he was just tremendous.
I disagree because I think some guys rise to the occasion while others don't.
No, but that's
like, you don't, bro. You don't think
what
like
I'm saying. That's still what I'm saying, because like I think Tanaka is so much better at handling pressure than other pitchers were, so that he stands out, and that is legitimately clutch. Like, I do believe in that
perform better because he's able to handle his emotions compared to other guys. Like, bro, you can't sit here and tell me that
it
like
doesn't make
Clayton Kershaw's like postseason struggles aren't because like he can't live up to the moment. They exactly are because of that.
I think that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
But
I don't think like that doesn't mean, like, say Tanaka, for example, like that doesn't mean he is literally becomes a better pitcher. Like, his stuff is better. He's literally a better pitcher. Like, no, like that. It's a fallacy. It doesn't make sense. But is he able to handle the moment better? Yes.
I think they go hand in hand, but maybe I'm just messed up with the wording here. But
I
don't know.
Yeah, no, there's better examples to give, but like there's just two different ways to look at it, in my opinion, and I believe in the latter example that I gave. But
listen, Dan, all I have to say is I think that is going to wrap things up for episode 13 of the Pat and Dan Show. Dan, you have anything else you want to touch
on? Isn't my sweater dope? You can get it at johnboymedia.com/merch. But yeah,
unhingedclothing.shop.
True. Yeah, that's Pat's show. Go with that.
Also,
that was a good show, Pat.
Dan, we have Rally Rod merch now. I literally made shirts with Rally Rod on it.
Oh, dude,
I might have to get you one. No, I might have
real
to get
13.
Yeah, the real number 13, bro. Who's Joey Gallo? I don't know. Stud of the night.
Real quick, uniforms. Did you see the Field of Dreams?
Yes,
stuff? I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, the hat was a little bit wonky, but like I think the entire uniform as a whole looks pretty solid. But yeah,
that's gonna be a fun game. I'm looking forward to that.
Before we do wrap things up, spam those W's in the chat for a great win by the Yankees tonight. Hopefully that they could kind of keep this going moving forward. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. I'm going live on this channel before and after every single Yankees game. And we're going live for the Pat and Dan Show on this channel every Monday and every Thursday. If it's an off day, we're going live at 9 p.m. And if it's a game day, we're going live directly after the game. But you guys know the deal. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. We'll see you next time. Peace.